Have you ever wondered what happens to a home when someone passes away without a clear estate plan in place? Today I'm diving into what probate is and why it's so important for real estate, especially here in California. Let's walk through what triggers probate, how the process works, and what to expect if you're selling a home in probate. Trust me, understanding probate can make a big difference when it comes to your property. Now, when I say without a clear plan, I'm referring to a few common scenarios that can lead a property into probate. The first situation is when someone passes away without a will or a living trust in place. In legal terms, this is called intestate. When there's no document specifying who inherits the estate, California's intestate succession law steps in. Essentially, the court will decide who inherits based on family relationships, usually spouses and children first, followed by other relatives if no other immediate family members exist. Now, if there's a will but no trust, probate is still necessary. Even though the will specifies who should inherit the property, the probate court is still required to oversee the process, making sure the will's instructions are followed legally. This means that, while you may avoid disputes over who inherits the property, the estate will still need to go through the probate process. Then there's the scenario of an outdated or invalid will. If the will doesn't meet legal standards, it could be contested in court, which complicates the probate process. In these cases, the court may treat the estate as though no will exists and apply intestate succession laws. And even with a trust, if assets like real estate weren't officially titled within it, those assets may still go through probate. Funding the trust correctly is key to ensuring that the property avoids probate. So now let's dive into what actually happens during probate in California, especially where real estate is involved. The process starts with someone, usually a family member, filing a petition with the probate court. If there's a will, the court appoints an executor named in the will. If there is no will, the court will appoint an administrator, which is usually a close relative. This person will be responsible for handling the estate and following the court's instructions throughout the probate process. Once appointed, the executor or administrator will take inventory of the estate, including real estate. They'll work with an appraiser to determine the fair market value of the property, which the court will then use to calculate any estate taxes or fees. In California, the court usually requires a probate referee to perform the appraisal. Before the estate can be distributed, any debts, taxes, and claims against the estate must be settled. This is why probate can sometimes take months or even years. It is a detailed process that involves verifying creditor claims, paying off outstanding debts, and handling taxes. After debts are settled, the court approves the distribution of the remaining assets to the beneficiaries. If there's a will, the assets are distributed according to the will. If there isn't a will, the distribution follows California's intestate succession laws. Now, let's talk about what happens if the real estate needs to be sold during probate, something that often occurs to cover debts or distribute assets. In California, any sale of real estate in probate usually requires court approval, a process known as court confirmation. Here's how it works. Once the executor or administrator receives an offer on the home, they must petition the court to approve the sale. At this court hearing, other interested buyers have the opportunity to place additional bids on the property. This process is known as overbidding. It's designed to ensure that the estate receives the highest possible value for the property. If you're a buyer making an offer on a probate property, be prepared to wait for court approval. Even if your offer is accepted initially, you could still face competition during the court hearing. After the sale is confirmed by the court, it proceeds similarly to a traditional sale, with the executor handling the closing process. Another unique aspect of probate sales in California is that the property is usually sold as is. This means that the executor or administrator is typically not required to make repairs or upgrades on the home. Buyers should expect to purchase the property in its current condition, and they're encouraged to perform a thorough inspection before making an offer, or at least very early on once an offer is accepted. Probate can be a complex, time-consuming process, especially with real estate involved. For homeowners, having a clear estate plan, like fully funded living trust, can help your heirs avoid probate altogether. And for heirs or executors, understanding how probate works will make it easier to navigate the process and make informed decisions. If you are an executor or heir dealing with probate, I'm here to help you understand your options and make the process as smooth as possible. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more real estate insights. See you in the next video.